country. In focus now, Republican Congressman Lance Gooden of Texas, one of those border states, and member of the Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. Great to have you. A lot of people recognize your face. We'll get to that reason in just a moment. Talk to me about some good things with this bill and if you think you can hold Republicans together.
I will. First, let me just remind you, how many times did you hear Nancy Pelosi say Republicans are irresponsible for not supporting keeping the government open?
A lot.
And now here we are. Democrats are refusing to vote for this bill. It's a clean CR, continuing resolution. It's got a few things in it. It funds veteran services. It ups spending on border deportations for ICE. Our border czar has been coming to the Capitol saying, I need more money. I can send more out of here, but I need more money to do it. This does it. There are no pet projects. All the usual stuff that folks hate about these continuing resolutions is not in this CR. And so tomorrow at 4 p.m., it's scheduled for a vote. I believe it will pass. I believe it will then go to the Senate, where it will get over 50 votes, and it will be up to the Democrats if there's a government shutdown or not.
All right. Talk to me about this thing that you and I were just talking about before we came live to air that I think is a bright spot. I always complain because the can just gets kicked down like, I don't know, a few days. That's not the case with this. A little bit longer, a little bit more time you get if this passes.
That's right. This goes until September 30th, the end of the fiscal year. I have never been happy about a CR before. It's been very difficult to get everyone on the same page. The President of the United States has been very clear that this is the best move. We have the Freedom Caucus on board. Folks know that if we can pass this and it give us more time, we'll get this reconciliation bill done, and all these projects that were campaigned on will actually get done.
Congressman, what does Thomas Massie, what do some of these additional holdouts want?
I won't speak for Thomas. I have my own theory, but the president campaigned against him a few primaries ago, and he is typically the lone holdout.
Maybe a call from the president?
I don't know if that'll work with him, but I think some of the others are just talking. But I think one gentleman said he'd make a game time decision. I suspect he's going to be on the side of the American people, and all Republicans are going to be on board tomorrow.
I gotcha. All right, we'll move to this. The fallout continues over Democrats' embarrassing behavior during President Trump's address last week. They held up signs. Some of them walked out and heckled, did all sorts of things. One guy got thrown out, Representative Al Green, because his behavior was egregious. The House censured that Democrat after the sergeant-at-arms had to remove him. Watch what he was doing.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir.
Well, Democrats are divided politically, with some criticizing Representative Al Green's tantrum. No surprise that the liberal media are running traps for him. Like, look out for that.
Do you think your colleagues in the Democratic Party are being too civil during this time when American rights and freedoms are literally on the line?
I believe that we have to move forward with righteous incivility. My conscience dictated that I do what I did. I am prepared to accept whatever the punishment is. I don't have to agree with it, but I can accept it because that's what peaceful protest demands.
Well, and he'd like some votes coming up, too. Who knows? Congressman Gooden, we saw you taking on those Democrat disruptions that night, and we saw you during the president's entrance into the chamber. You took a sign out of a Democratic congresswoman's hands, Melanie Stansbury. And that sign read, "This is not normal." In that moment, and we've slowed it down so people can really see it flying there, what was going through your head?
In that moment, I thought, this lady is disrespecting the President of the United States and all of Congress and the American people. And in that moment, I thought, you know what, she's right. This is not normal in the fact that these Democrats support transgender surgeries for children. They support open borders. They support lawless cities. I thought, she's right about that, but she's wrong to disrespect President Trump. And I thought, you know what, I'll just very carefully toss it. And I did. And the people back home, when I got home, I was in Athens, Texas, at the Athens Country Club on Friday. And people were coming up to me saying, you did what we wanted to do. And even here in New York today, people have said the same thing to me.
Look, that speech has been talked about so much because of some of the bad behavior. How do you do deals with people across the aisle? And it's going to take everybody. You're squeaky close in the GOP. So the CR likely passes and won't need a lot of deal making, but new things will. How do you deal with somebody who's willing to disrespect and And even hate was on display in some instances.
Well, it's very difficult to deal with just about everyone in the Democratic Party. There are a few folks you can make a deal with. My friend Johanna Hayes from Connecticut, a reasonable Democrat that I can work with. Someone like Al Green, however, he stands up there and makes a fool of himself. And the American people see that. They do not want that in the American political system. And I was proud to vote to censure him. And I'm proud that we're going to get these votes tomorrow, pass this CR, and get every bit of President Trump's agenda done.
All right, next, just in terms of what the president wants to do that you all will be a part of, what's next that you can tell us about?
Well, we're going to pass the CR tomorrow. I believe the Senate, even the 10 Democrats or so that we need, will come to their senses. They'll pass this. Congress is out of town for a week. We're going to get back, and we're going to continue with deporting folks who are here and causing trouble. I saw just yesterday that the Palestinian protest leader at Columbia was arrested and is about to be shipped home. That's great. I think that the president is on the right path. As your prior guest said, he's doing the courageous thing with respect to these tariffs. It may not be easy, but it's going to make us rich. It's going to bring American businesses back home. American goods are going to be cheaper. And I do believe the golden age of this nation has truly begun, and the best is yet to come.
Congressman Gooden, great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being with me.